It's been a phenomenal presentation so far from each and every person who's had the opportunity to speak. There's been so much compelling content and insights around digital transformation, technology, AI. I think there's Albert, there's Warren, there's Jane, there's so many different bots that are coming to life. And it's so phenomenal to listen to that and think about how our world is changing in the future and the reality for each of us as marketing professionals in owning that world and owning how we move that world forward. But I'm not talking about any of that in my presentation today, partially because there's been so much great content already that I don't need to add on to it, but partially because when we're talking about a digital transformative future, and we're talking about bots, and you heard Adam talk about yesterday with that great link, will my job be replaced by a robot? The one thing that always comes next in the conversation is people. And Victoria talked about it yesterday as well. The way that we treat our people and the experiences that we create for our customers are what makes our brand impactful. They are what makes our brand successful and thriving. So today what I'm going to talk about is a different type of people, the people that work for us. Not just working in the marketing organizations, but people who work for our companies, our employees. And not just the marketing employees, every employee in your organization. Because as we take on the future, where we look at the future of work and we look at the future of the workforce, we have to start by talking about our people. And how do we get there? The big secret is we get there through brand advocacy. And the next piece that goes along with that is brand advocacy is not driven by external influencers in many cases. It's driven by our employees. So today I'm going to take you on that journey, and I'm going to start with some information that Mercer puts together globally every year with our 2017 Global Talent Trends Report. Every year, we go out to a number of organizations. We survey the CEOs, the members of the organizations, the HR leaders about where they're seeing work go. Where are the global talent trends? Where is the business taking us? And traditionally, this report has been really relevant for people in HR, some people in finance, and sometimes the CEO. But this year, it became extremely relevant for people in marketing because the findings of what is happening with the workforce that we live in are also the findings that impact what's happening with our brands. So there were 4 key findings in this report. The first one being that companies need to grow by design. And if that doesn't scream, hey, marketing leader, we need you to have a seat at the strategic table with us and design how we grow, I don't know what else does. So you should be really excited about this opportunity. The second big learning was a shift in what we value. Now, you've all seen, as you're hiring people, millennials, even Gen Z, have different values. What matters to us, parents who have children, maybe teenagers, maybe ahead of that, have different thoughts and ideas about our future, our financial stability, our health, than you would get with an unmarried, single 20-year-old who's just out of university. So we started to see the shift in what we value and how it's impacting the workforce. People are motivated different. People want to work for different things. But most importantly, we've seen that every employee is very interested in working for a brand that they feel very proud of being a part of. And it's our job in marketing to make our employees feel proud about the efforts and the work that we're doing. The third place is a workplace for me. It talks about all of the important and impactful elements across the workforce that make people feel better about the job that they're doing. Do they have the right tools? Can they work from home? Do they have the right access to the people that they need to have access to? And the fourth one is the quest for insight. And this is very HR focused around performance reviews and salary reviews, but it's relevant to us as marketers because not only are we as marketers looking for insight and data and trends to see how our external campaigns are doing, but our employees are looking for insight and data and trends about their performance as well. So when you marry the two together, what an employee and a workforce cares about and what marketing and consumers care about, you get a really powerful combination. When you can activate that combination into creating a workforce that builds extreme brand advocacy from the inside out, you really can make an impact moving forward. So as I said, I'm not going to walk through all of these, but at Mercer, we follow 3 core tenets: simplicity, agility, and empowerment. And we believe by keeping our message simple, by giving our organization agility, and by empowering all of our employees to be the best that they can be and be the best brand advocates, that we can really move the needle forward. So I'm going to skip through the details here and move on to a little bit about how we focus on growing our business, but also how we focus on growing our people. And what I'll say to all of you is, if you've done a marketing campaign, you most likely have gone externally. But how many of you have started by marketing to the internal employees first? Anybody? All right, there's 4 hands, I just want to say. So everyone's either didn't go to the oxygen bar, so you're all kind of tired, or people marketing, as we're talking about today, is the biggest untapped opportunity that you can have as marketers to drive success for your organization. And this is pretty phenomenal. When you're building a workforce for tomorrow, you're not just building employees that get a job done in your company. You're building a brand advocate guerrilla workforce. So if you want to increase your profits, if you want to increase your sales, if you want to increase your brand visibility, you need to focus on your employees. We live in the age of brand equalization. When I was at Jeanniey, I learned this the hard way, and if any of you are as old as me, you may remember that image there where it says, on the internet, nobody knows if you're a dog. It was one of the famous little snippets that came out in the early days of the internet. People put them on t-shirts, lots of vendors handed them out. But really, what happened when the internet went live, what happened when email went live, is all of us as large organizations and brands became equalized in just a matter of seconds. In April of 2008, when Apple launched the first iPad and iTunes went crazy, this is what happened to brands. Now, this is a snippet of the top paid iTunes apps from last week. How many brands up there are recognizable global brands? Like, none. Right? Everything's about the eclipse because the eclipse happened on Monday, but I want to point out that the top apps making the most money on Apple are not organizations like Pepsi or Qantas or Mercer or any large Burger King, not up there. These are brands that we haven't necessarily heard of before. Now, I've played the game Heads Up, so I know that brand, but it is not a cornerstone brand that's been around for over 100 years. This is a clear message that as soon as you move into a digital world, the value of your brand becomes equivalent to the latest and greatest idea from a startup company. When companies can make more money being an unknown brand with a cool idea than large global brands can make, it sends a really clear message to all of us in marketing. We've got to get our act together. We've got to activate our brand advocates. We've got to move the needle. So I took a look at free iTunes apps. Now, some of these are brands that you may recognize a lot more easily than others. Smithsonian is up there, but only because it's Smithsonian Eclipse. The Smithsonian magazine is not up here on the top free chart. Of course, Snapchat is up there on the top free chart. You've got WhatsApp, you've got Netflix. So you get a little more brand visibility, but these companies had to make their apps available for free. So when I worked at Jeanniey, which was a digital magazine company, my biggest battle on the iTunes App Store was with Smurf Village. Now, Jeanniey, if you don't know who Jeanniey is a magazine app, so we sold magazines from all around the world. So people did not want to pay $7.85 to get the latest subscription to National Geographic, a very amazing, incredible magazine, especially in its digital format, yet they would spend $12, $14 buying bushels of Smurf berries that don't even exist in real life, to the point where Smurf berries, actually there was a website for Smurf Village addicts. How can I stop spending money on Smurf berries? But this is the world that we live in. The brand name doesn't matter online as much as the brand experience. And I wanted to start out the presentation by sharing this because when you're talking about how you survive and thrive in a digital world, brand capability comes off of identifying advocates, activating advocates, and building an army of people who are unlike any other. Now, this is my big quote, right? We are not in a position, any of us, if any of you is in a position where you've got a large enough budget that you can continue to battle online to get brand visibility all over the place, let me know, because I want to come work there. But most of us are constrained with our marketing budgets to the point where we have to make very strategic decisions. We are not in a position where we can outspend new innovative ideas, nor should we be. We want to see these ideas, we want to embrace these ideas, we want to build partnerships with these companies that come up with these ideas, we want to look at acquisitions of companies with these ideas, but we love the innovation. So if we're not in a position to outspend innovation, how do we maintain our brand visibility? How do we take the next level up? Well, we do it through activating our advocates. We do it through people marketing. People marketing is very simply the concept of going to your employees, as many as you have, and turning them into true brand fans. And we're going to talk about that now because that's the strategy to thrive. So people marketing is not a new concept, but it's a concept that's being used by 4 of you in this room. So everybody look around, because see there's more than 4 of you in this room. There's a lot of people here, and that means this could be the best presentation ever because you're all going to go back and you can immediately increase the impact and the results of your organization by activating people marketing. It's a really simple concept, but a really powerful one. People marketing is not going externally with a campaign when you first launch it, but starting internally. And you heard yesterday and also this morning a number of people, and I can't remember the name of the woman who sat on the panel yesterday, but she said, when we took this out for testing, for user testing, I realized I was not the target audience. A lot of times at Mercer, we're learning as we take our campaigns into our people marketing strategy, we're learning unique and interesting ways that we need to improve what we're taking to the external audience to make it more successful. And we're having a lot of fun with it. The reason that you want to start with your employees is because in today's world, the average person reaches 25,000 people on social networks in the course of a year. That means every message that they put out on your company's behalf is considered what we call a marketing moment. So if your company and if your employees are out there on social, whether it's Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, WhatsApp, WeChat, it doesn't matter. If they go out there and say something that is authentic about the company that they work for and positive, it means that they can have a critical impact on the bottom line for the organization. So everything that we do at Mercer now is focused on a marketing moment. We realize that every message that gets posted on social from our employees impacts the brand. There's been studies that have been done recently that have showed that when companies are interviewing people, candidates for jobs, the way their interviewing experience goes impacts the brand. If you applied for a job that you loved, that you wanted to dream always working at McDonald's when you grew up, and you applied and you were treated poorly during the interview, guess what? 25,000 people are now going to have a negative marketing moment about McDonald's. So it's vital for all of us to do everything that we can to activate our brand army by enabling marketing moments in the way that we, as marketers and strategists, believe that they need to be in order to move our organization forward. So how do you do that? 3 ways. We call it AIR, because it made a word, and all marketers love to make words and acronyms, right? So AIR is authentic, inspirational, and reliable. And for the rest of the conversation today, I'm going to be sharing 3 examples for you of how we are actually leveraging people marketing inside Mercer in an authentic, inspirational, and relatable way. So people marketing number 1. The first rule of people marketing, it has to be authentic. This isn't made up. It doesn't work when you write tweets for people and ask them to share them because maybe I don't speak in the same format that you speak. That's a good way to get started, but you want your employees to embrace what you're doing and to do more about what you're doing. one of Chris Meledandri, who is a well-known movie designer, producer, developer. He did Ice Age. He created Despicable Me. Has a firm belief that the reason that the Despicable Me minions are so successful is because the people who watch Despicable Me can see themselves in them. So when you're dealing with any of the minions, you can see the lovable part, you can see the troublemaking part, and you just feel a part of it. We tried to take that personal, relatable experience, that authenticity, and put it into everything that we're doing at Mercer. Authenticity is really the first secret of people marketing. The second secret is being inspirational. And so I've only been in the global CMO role here at Mercer for 4 months. But I wanted to do something. Everyone talks about your first 90 days. You have to do something that makes a big impact. And we've done that with marketing campaigns externally, but internally we wanted to do something that was incredibly inspirational for our employees. So I had made a bunch of changes in leadership, and I changed the organization pretty significantly. And I realized that 22,000 people, actually 21,700 people, had no idea what was happening in marketing. What did marketing do? What does marketing mean? So I asked our team to pull together, each leader, a 2-minute video about what their team does. That was an awareness element for the employees, but we'll do it as a career fair. Because we were looking to upskill and to change, and what better way to recruit than to look internally for the greatest expertise. So we created the world's first virtual career fair at Mercer. 22,000 employees had the opportunity to sign up for our virtual career fair. We were hoping to get 300. We thought it would be great. When we had the data come in, we were blown away. We had 1,300 offices dial in. So when an office dials in, there's usually a conference room full of people. We had over 14% of the organization tune into the marketing career fair. That's crazy. We looked at how we could innovate and inspire and engage the minds of all our employees to not just only hopefully fill jobs and upskill in ways that we needed to, but also to educate people about what marketing means at Mercer and where we're looking to take the business. We had a microsite afterwards where if you were interested in rewatching any of the 10 videos that were created that you saw the synopsis of, you could. We had 3,000 plus page visits from 1,350 people. We had 375 video, the entire career fair, which was an hour long, replayed. And we had over 75 people inside Mercer apply for jobs in marketing that didn't work in marketing, which was really interesting. We had actuaries who wanted to become data analysts. We had consultants that wanted to become social media experts. We had people standing up from other parts of the organization and saying things like, I've got 20% extra time, and I know that I probably am not skilled enough to be an operational marketer right now, but I'd love to understand Marketo better. So can I give you 20% of my time and just help out with something? I'd love to understand how we could move leads down the funnel faster. From a sales enablement standpoint, can I become the ambassador that helps to start? With this one initiative from a people marketing standpoint, what we did was engage an entire company around the globe in a number of different offices in different languages and gave them something to be excited and innovative around. So this was critical, and this is the way that marketing is going to work as we move forward. This is the way that we are going to continue to evolve our brands, is by leveraging our employees to make a statement. We're marketing from the inside out. So what I would encourage, challenge, suggest to all of you is that you go back to your offices after the conference is over, and you get out your total employee list and see how many people you have in your company that can each and every one become a brand ambassador for your marketing campaigns. And for your next big external launch of anything, whether it's digital, whether it's brand, whether it's a new campaign, a new product, or it's a new initiative, take a month, which is a lot to ask, take the 4 weeks before it goes live, and think of really interesting and creative ways to launch it internally to your people. And watch what happens as you create a set of brand ambassadors that are not anywhere close to being as powerful as anybody else out there. I said that backwards. That are more powerful than any other brand ambassador that you could possibly have, including The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, who's the most powerful influencer on social media right now. But your employees can be more influential than Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson when you give them the opportunity to engage with you. So go back and catch some air, make it authentic, make it inspirational, make it relatable, and you'll see your revenues increase, you'll see your brand strength increase, your net promoter score will go through the roof. It's been 4 months and we've watched it happen live and in person, so it's actually working. With that, thank you, and open it up for questions.